Hi there, my name's Jim, this is my shed and you're welcome to it. Episode 10, I can't quite believe it. Amazing, eh? How did we get here? The title of this video may be somewhat presumptuous, but I think if you watch to the end and have a look, you can decide for yourself whether I'm getting close to Binky levels of bracketry. I'm quite happy with it, and I think probably more of the same as we go on. You know, a bit of over-engineering never hurt anyone. I need to apologise for a chunk of missing footage through the video. There's a bit of a montage of a family trip we took to Santa Pod, and after that either I deleted or just didn't record a load of work because there's a big step, and you'll see that in the video, so I do apologise for that, but I think you still get the idea. Yeah, we're just carrying on where we were, so mounting up the steering column and getting the brake linkage done and the pedals in. So I think I'll just say let's crack on. Finally getting on with the job I've been putting off for a little while. I've got the new mounting plate mocked up in place, bolted off here so it's at the right angle, jacked it up so it's the right height exactly, because this isn't exactly level, so I had to bend this a little bit to get it all, but it's exactly the right height. Same height, same angle, so look, mocked up in the middle of the car. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the large plates that are going to run along here and then down the bulkhead. And then probably up to here, so down there, flat, down the bulkhead, and then they will attach to the bulkhead on the new section where it's actually flat, because the standard bulkhead is all shapes down to that point. So the first flat bit I can get onto is the new bit. So first thing to do is get a nice big bit of cardboard out and start cutting out a template. So on we go. And here's the template. It's not actually as big as I thought. Got to remember to transfer a couple of details. The important parts are this face, and this mounting point here. I've got to remember to fill in that all the way to the top square, but yeah, there's that. So I'll get on, transfer that to a bit of alley, see how that fits, and then make the other one. So here's the finished plate number one. I did not think it was going to come out anything like this shape. So we got this bit mates with the underside of the dash. This bit mates with the top of the dash comes down at that angle. This is the mounting face for where the steering column mounting plate goes. And then that's the hole for the brake pedal and the clutch pedal. So I'm going to make a reinforcing plate that bolts down there, and then it'll bolt through here as well. So basically it'll reinforce that whole section. So I won't be relying on just this 2mm alley. It wouldn't. And the cutout you can see up here is where the clutch master cylinder is going to go. So that will have a mounting plate welded on here, and that will sit like that. And then the pedal can push on the bottom. So yeah, that's number one done. Now let's make another one. Okay, so now I've got my 2 plates. I need to make sure that I can actually put the assembly together. Now, bearing in mind that this is going to have, oh sorry, straight across the camera, this is going to have the tube welded to it, and the pedal's going to be on this end. So obviously I need some way of getting this through. So obviously that's going to go through the brake hole there. So my initial thought was to cut a slot, an actual slot along here, so that the tube could go in and slide in. But now I'm thinking I might just do a big hole so that I can actually feed this through the hole and then slide it along, and then put the hinge in place, put the bar in place, rather than having a slot, because slot would weaken it quite a lot. I was going to have a slot here and then put a reinforcing bit to close the slot so it put the strength back. But if I can just put a hole just big enough to feed this through, then that will go, and they'll be able to slide along to the other end. I should be able to get it all together, because the pivot this side is going to be removable. So I'll be able to put the bar, slide it in through the hole, and then slide it back on, and then the hinge this side will have to bolt on from the outside. So the reinforcing plate I was mentioning that's going to go down here will have the actual mount, the spigot for the needle roller at this end attached to it. So I'm not sure if that's clear. So basically the plate will bolt on from this side, and then the spigot will go through. So I'll be able to have that sat in place, put that all together, get the other end needle roller in, have that sat in place, and then put this plate on from the outside that will have the hinge for this side, and then it'll be able to turn. Sorry, my hand's in the way, probably be able to turn on there. So I think I'll need to weld the tube onto here, so I'll know exactly how big it is, and then I'll figure out how the smallest hole I can get away with to actually feed that through, and then I can carry on from there. Just by way of a little break, I decided to take the family to Santa Pod so my kids could witness Top Fuel dragsters and funny cars going down the strip. So we went to the FAI main event at Santa Pod, which was great fun. I didn't really do any proper filming for the event, so I thought I'd just put together a little montage of some of the cars that we saw running. And the only real shame is that the sound on the phone does not get across the sound of a nitromethane burning supercharged V8 going. It's not so much noise, it's like punching you in the chest as it goes past. It's just extraordinary. So I think it's something every petrol head should see once in their life. It should experience. It's not see or hear, it's an experience. So yeah, anyway, little montage coming up, and then it'll be back to putting the car together. So cheers.
You just like trays and trays of different gears, and you can make infinite tiny adjustments, and it was super hard. Very, very difficult indeed. Whereas somewhere
oh, right, the girl's idea though, coming to Gaffer. Oh yeah. So
Now, I've no idea what happened here, whether I just didn't record any footage or deleted it. I do apologise. But you can see the bracket's almost finished, and I'm just welding on the last couple of tabs where it's going to attach to the body structure. I've also made the side plate that's going to take the brake pedal mounting point and turned up the spigots that are going to go inside the needle rollers. Made those out of an M12 12.9 bolt, because that was the excuse me, the hardest material that I could still machine. Maybe a bit of silver steel would have been better, but I'm sure the 12.9s will be fine. Bit of grease on them and they'll be lovely. So sorry about that, but there you go. Those fuckers cool down. And here's the bracket for holding the steering column in place, and the pedals. So the clutch pedal bolt through here, the brake pedal bolts on to a separate plate. So there's the pivot for this side of the brake pedal. You'll see how it all goes together. That goes on there, so that bolts through there, down there. This takes the clutch master cylinder. So all in all, even though it looks like something that comes out of a World War II fighter, I'm quite happy with that. So that'll get riveted into the chassis, and then I'll be able to measure up the brake pedal, see how long that needs to be. So let's crack on, mock that up in place. So here we are, mocked up in place, drilled a couple of rivet holes so it's fixed. I mean, it's held in case with the cable tie at the moment, but I say it's located by the three rivet holes that I've drilled. So first thing to do is measure the distance from there to the brake pedal mount, and then I can get on and make the brake pedal bar. So looking good. And so now we've got the brake bar cut to length as measured, and I've made the cup that will take the needle roller and fit in there. I won't actually fit it until I've welded the pedal on. So next job to do is to make the plates to adapt the brake pedal. Oh, get it right around. Brake pedal to go on there, like that. So next job. And here's the piece made. So it's roughly shaped to match the profile of the brake pedal. Just go on there, and this bit I'll just fill that with a bit of weld, so I can weld that on. And before anyone tells me it's too thin, yes, that is much too thin, but I'm going to double skin it. So basically weld this one on first, so it's fixed the pivot point, and then I'll make a plate. I'll make a plate that'll go on the back, and you know, plate say from down here, weld all the way up. I'll incorporate the point as well, made out of thicker material. Probably go with bit of 8th plate to reinforce that, but I'll get that welded on first, and then I can make the next plate. Okay, let's find the center thing again, because apparently the last time I showed this it was completely unintelligible what I did. So hopefully this time we can see what I'm doing. So got my circle marked out, I've got my calipers set to a certain size. You can use compasses or anything that can make a mark, and then you just go on the edge, make a scratch in the middle, any 3 points. So on the edge, make a scratch in the middle, and then again on the edge, make a scratch in the middle. And where those 3 points, I've happened to set this exactly to half, so you can see here in the middle where they touch, that's the exact center of the circle. So if I then dot punch there, that's the middle of the circle. And here's my oh so delicate brake pedal. Now I will admit I've possibly gone a little bit heavy duty on this bit, but it is the brakes and I'm not going to mess about. I don't want to risk this tube twisting or anything like that, so I've gone fairly heavy wall. It's not the lightest thing, but I'm 100% confident that I can stamp on that pedal and it not bend. So bit coat of black paint now, I think. Obviously the black paint's been applied here, the brake pedal's all put together with the needle rollers, and now I've started to install the steering column mount. You might notice that the brake pedal is already in place. It's because my grand plan for installing the brake pedal wasn't going to work, because my spatial awareness let me down and the bulkhead would have been in the way to install it. So the brake pedal is now installed firmly, so fingers crossed it doesn't have to come out again, because if it does I'm going to have to cut it and make it a two-piece item or something like that, but fingers crossed it won't come to that. So just watch me riveting in the steering column mount, then getting the brake pedal and clutch pedal in place just to see if everything fits nicely. And there we are. So we have steering wheel and steering column mounted, brake pedal, clutch pedal's not finished because I've got to make the linkage to go to the master cylinder, but it's all mounted. Brake linkage works lovely. Feels nice and stiff, so it's really good. The steering column is a little closer to the brake pedal than I'd have liked, so it's probably going to be a bit more cutting and shutting than I'd hoped on the steering column, but all looks very doable, and I think that's pretty good progress. So what do you think? Have Bad Obsession Motorsport got anything to worry about? I wouldn't go that far myself, to be honest, but I'm quite happy with how it's coming out so far. Nice and stiff, nice and lightweight, so yeah, it's all right. Shame about the steering column, because obviously a bit of an oversight on my mind. Originally it would have gone down and that way, whereas now it's going down and that way. It's going through the brake pedal, which is a bit of a bugger, but you know, these things crop up, and it all looks very doable. Just shorten the column slightly, should be fine. Next steps we're going to take, going to be a lot of work under the car, to be honest, because now once I've got the steering column in properly, then I'll need the rack in place in order to decide where the column's going to go through the bulkhead. and for that I need the front subframe in place. This front subframe needs a lot of work, and before I put the front subframe in, I really want to get under the car done, so I get the brake pipes and the, maybe not the brake pipes, but certainly the fuel pipes run under the car, so I can get all that done, get all the inside all painted, get the fuel tank back in, get the hard lines run under the car, and get the fuel pump and the fuel filter in under there. So not great for filming, so I'm not sure how much filming there'll be for the next one. Obviously I'll show you as much as I can basically, but that's the next step. Ultimately working towards getting the front subframe on so I can finish the steering column off. By way of my weekly or fortnightly commentary on current affairs, since when I've been doing that, but I was interested to see that the Met Office declared May the hottest May on record. Now, if you believe that, there's a particularly indelicate expression that comes to mind. It's "don't piss on me and tell me it's raining." Quite apt in this case with the weather we've had so far this year. Hottest on record, or warmest average. All the nights have been hot. I'm sorry, I don't believe any of it. It's complete gibberish. But there you go. That's me. I'm not going to rant on too much today. Now I think covered all the bases. I have to say, as always, like and subscribe. Numbers went down again last month. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. I really don't understand how all this works. But anyway, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing it for world domination, so I'm going to stop fixating on how many people are watching and just get on, enjoy the ride, and I'll say good health, cheers, and I will see you in a couple of weeks.